Hello, my name is Sydney Harris, and today I will be presenting the meaning behind Coldplay's song Orphans. Boom boom ka, boom de ka, boom boom ka, boom de ka. Now, some of you are probably wondering, Sydney, what are you chanting? It's actually not a chant. This is the beat that plays in the background of the song Orphans by Coldplay. This was written and sang by Chris Martin and his son Moses Martin. These lyrics were meant to artistically imitate the sound of bombs and missiles. And in a little bit, I'll tell you why. A little bit of background on the band seems necessary for you to understand the meaning of the song they wrote, Orphans. After releasing A Head Full of Dreams in 2016, Coldplay went on a 2-year-long world tour. On this tour, they were able to visit many different countries outside of their bubble. It was a huge and fun tour for them. However, they were finally able to learn and experience what the Syrian war was like. They decided to create their next album with a theme of spreading awareness and encouraging others to be kinder to their neighbors in a world full of hate and war. Where others have failed, Coldplay was hoping to shed light on the tragedies of the Syrian war. Through their musical use of lyrics and beats, as well as their music video and comments made by band members, Coldplay demonstrated and responded to the struggles of war on the Syrian people while hoping to spread awareness and encourage empathy. It is apparent when digging deeper into the lyrics of Coldplay's song, Orphans, that lead singer Chris Martin was singing about the wars that have been proceeding in Syria for the past decade. The war in Syria started in 2011 when the citizens protested against their corrupt government. As explained in the BBC written article, when the government used deadly force to crush the dissent, protests demanding the president's resignation erupted worldwide. Since then, more than 500,000 people have been killed or are missing. Most of the deaths in Syria are either caused by aerial bombing or rapid shelling. That is what the boom boom in the beat is supposed to represent. Because of those seeking asylum has become a major political topic, and a controversial one at that, Coldplay uses their song Orphans to remind those listening to find empathy and kindness for those in need rather than judgment. Lyrically, there is a lot to unpack in this song. The band created a character named Rosaline. She lives in Syria's capital, Damascus. When describing her, the band writes, "She had eyes like the moon, would have been on the silver screen but for the missile monsoon." This is supposed to depict a beautiful young girl who could have been on movie screens and had hopes and dreams had the missiles not landed in her city and killed her and her family. The next person they go on to introduce is her father, Baba, which is the Arabic term for father. He is a farmer of peach trees and almonds. After that, the chorus goes on to sing, "I want to know when I can go back and get drunk with my friends. I want to know when I can go back and be young again." This is meant to embody Syrian people, both Rosalie and her father, and those in their city singing for their old life back and longing for simpler times. This story was created to be relatable. It's meant to touch the listener's heart and show them that this family of a young, beautiful girl and her father living a simple farming life were happy until the Syrian war killed them. By using these characters that we can relate to, we're able to put ourselves in their shoes and empathize better with them. Like previously mentioned, the beat that is played throughout this song is meant to emulate the bombs dropping on these people that were mentioned in the stories before. Here is a photo of what the Syrian war has done to some of these towns. Next, I want to point out how the music video also helps further the agenda of Coldplay trying to empathize with the Syrian people. The most important part of this video is the scene where the band is dancing in this room as it is rotating. Now it just looks like they're dancing and singing the chorus, but I think it symbolizes a lot more. The band is trying to symbolize how the Syrian people's lives are literally being turned upside down because of this war. This was a really great way for the band to use their platform in order to emphasize what others are struggling with. In an interview with BBC's Annie Mac, lead singer Chris Martin also goes on to explain that trying to empathize with what other people are going through, because it seems to me that One of the things that might have helped people have a better time is to put themselves in others' shoes, whether it's these kids who have to leave Syria, rather than judging from afar, to think, I wonder what it's like to be there. When we remove that barrier and we learn to look more closely, then we start to love others. When we love others, then we're finally able to take action and we want to help them. This is what Coldplay is trying to do. They can't force people to donate, and they can't force people to help these refugees. But when they help them empathize with them and learn to love them, then we will be called to do it ourselves. Maybe if they can find a way through their music to make people care, we can change the world. Rock music, for as long as it's been alive, has had a drastic impact on society. This quote by Kovac and Flory says rock is intertwined with social, political, and cultural issues, whether it's rock's impact on the discrimination in the 60s or the Vietnam War of the 70s. Coldplay is hoping to utilize how impactful rock music is to spark a worldwide change. The war presiding in Syria has absolutely devastated these people and their country for the past decade. Hundreds of thousands of people have been killed in the crossfire, and with no end in sight, many more will perish. In response to this tragedy, Coldplay beautifully crafted lyrics to invoke emotion from their audience in hopes to gain support for those in Syria seeking asylum. Through the musical use of lyrics and beats featured in the songs Orphans, as well as the music video and the band members' comments, Coldplay demonstrates and responds to the struggles of war on Syrian people who are wishing for their old life back. This song was meant to convey a deeper meaning of empathy. We may not be able to stop the war in Syria or help as much as we would like to, but emphasizing and spreading a mindset of love across the world will do more good than we can ever imagine. As Chris Martin once gracefully suggested in an interview about the song, walk in another's shoes rather than to judge them. This may be the only way we break the barriers in our world and learn to love one another. When we do this, may we finally know a world without wars and one with true peace. Thank you.